Hey everyone. In this video, we are going to tackle a common challenge that people are facing when running Docker containers locally. Getting them to actually communicate with each other while still being able to access them from the host machine. Especially in the combination of running n8n as a workflow automation tool and baserow as a no-code database locally, I see a lot of people struggling with this because baserow, for example, needs one fixed URL it is called on, and dependent on your Docker setup, this comes with some problems. So we will use baserow and n8n as a practical example here. But the contexts pretty much work for all containerized applications. Whether you are on Windows, macOS, or Linux, I will show you different approaches how to solve problems like this, including setting up a custom Docker network and using the host network of your machine. So let's dive into it. Just as an aside here, for spinning up Docker containers for n8n and baserow, I will pretty much stick to the commands you will find in the documentation, so it's easier to follow along. Before we start spinning up containers, I want to make sure that the settings in Docker Desktop are set up properly. And today I show this on a Windows machine, and I will show you how to configure Docker on Windows here to have all of this working properly. So first of all, you need to go to Settings and then go to Resources. And there are two important points actually. So one important point is we need to enable WSL integration here, because when you don't have WSL integration enabled, this will kind of limit the capabilities of Docker on your machine here. And the other thing we need to enable here is to enable host networking, because we will need that later in the video when I show you how to make containers join the host network. So with that out of the way, we can start spinning up our Docker containers. So first of all, I will just start with n8n, and this is just the default command you will find on the n8n documentation. The only thing I have added here is an RM flag, and this will basically delete the container once it's stopped, because I will be starting containers a couple of times here, and I want to make sure everything is cleaned up each time I stop a container here. So I can just start it here, and the same we will do for baserow here. And now both services should be available. So for n8n, I will just head to localhost on port 5678. And I will just quickly set this up here and just get started. Skip this one here. And for baserow, I will just go to localhost here and also create my owner account and just skip over a couple of things here and just to get us started here. So I want to track campaigns, skip for now, and now our workspace is created here. Now let's build a simple workflow in n8n here. And I just want to add a baserow node here and get many rows and create a new credential for baserow here and enter my user credentials here. And we had our baserow instance started on http://localhost. So I saved this one. And when we have a look here, you can see we have an error of fetching options from baserow. And here we are at our main problem really, because baserow only listens to one specified URL. In the case of the copied command from the docs, this was localhost. And the problem is really that localhost means something different on the host machine and in the n8n Docker container. So when we call localhost on the host machine, we can reach baserow because the baserow service is running within Docker on the host machine on port 80. But in n8n, localhost refers to the n8n container itself. And this is why we cannot reach it right now. And actually, there is one very simple solution. Docker provides a special DNS name, host.docker.internal, that resolves to the host's IP address and makes it possible that I can call services running on the host machine from within Docker containers. And it turns out that this is exactly what we need here. So when I head back to my terminal here and stop baserow, and when I now want to restart my container, and instead of localhost, I will just put a host.docker.internal here and just start my baserow container once again. And when I head back to my browser, you can see I have a failed connection here on the localhost address here. And of course, we have just changed that. So I can now call baserow on host.docker.internal here. And you can see it's still reachable. So I will just need to log in here. And now I will just go to my test database and, I don't know, just make a host.docker.internal entry here. And now I can just head back to my n8n instance and change my credentials here. And just change it to host.docker.internal. And I'll leave my username and my password, of course, and save this. And now when I try this once more, you can see I have access to my test database and to my campaigns table here. And when I test this step, I can fetch data from the API. And here we have the entry I have just entered into my baserow table. Now let's have a look how the architecture is here really. So here I have my Brave browser, and it calls localhost, or it can call host.docker.internal. And this, of course, is on my Windows 11 machine. And this goes through the Docker daemon and the underlying Linux system provided by WSL. And on our Docker run commands, we had port mappings here. So we had the host port 5678 mapped to the internal port of the container, which is also 5678. And the same goes for port 80 here. And right now, what we are doing basically is we are calling from Brave through host.docker.internal, which will resolve to my host machine and my Docker daemon here. And this will be forwarded from port 80 on the host to the container, which is also running port 80 internally. And that's basically the call we are doing from our browser. But when it comes to n8n, then we have a different call. So what actually happens with n8n is n8n will also call our host machine here on port 80, because we are using the exact same host name here, host.docker.internal. And that is basically how the communication works right now. And of course, when it comes to setups that are more similar to production environments, it would be a good idea if we could just call our baserow container directly from our n8n container. And that's what we will be doing now. And in order to have a convenient way to call my baserow container, I just want to call it by its name, basically. So the way I would like this to work is just to have something like http:// and then baserow. And of course, right now I cannot reach it under this entry. And now I will just restart my baserow container and just change the public URL to http:// and baserow. And now when I head back to my n8n instance and try again, You can see I still don't get any options here, and I get an error fetching options from baserow here. And this attempt fails because by default, Docker containers run on the default bridge network of the Docker daemon. And the bridge network allows for containers to communicate with each other. But in order to get this working, you would need to call the containers directly by their IP address. So to solve this problem, we need to create a custom Docker network here. And the way you do this is you just enter Docker network and then create, and then you just give it a name. And in my case, I will just name it web. And now my Docker network is created. And now I need to stop my containers here. And the same for n8n. And now I just need to restart my containers and make them join my newly created network here. So I could just add a network equals, and then I just enter web here. And I just do the same for baserow here and make it also join the network web here. And now, for example, when I inspect the network here, you can see I got both containers here. So I have baserow down here and I have n8n up here. And the big advantage of using a custom network is that Docker will automatically create a DNS entry for the container name. And that will enable us now to have the http://baserow working here. So when I close this one and try to open it up again, you can see I can just reach my baserow instance with the very simple and easy to recognize URL here. Now let's have a look at our web interface. And as you can see here, we got an error here, and we could try to reach baserow over HTTP baserow, which we configured as our baserow domain here. And right now our host machine is not able to resolve baserow and to reach our baserow Docker container over that name. And there's one simple solution for that. So when I head back to my terminal and I just enter code and then C:\Windows system 32 drivers etc hosts, this will open VS Code for me. And this is a so-called host file. And as you can see up here, there's a small description. This file contains the mappings of IP addresses to host names. Each entry should be kept on an individual line, blah, 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 blah. And as you can see here, we already got some host entries that were done by our Docker installation here. And what we can do now here is we can just copy one of these entries and just change this to baserow here. And what we are doing here is we assign the name baserow to the IP address of our host machine. And when we have a look back on our diagram, we have baserow running on port 80 or being reachable on port 80 on our host machine. So I will just save this file here. And now I can just head back to my browser and enter baserow here. And as you can see, I can reach my baserow instance again. And when we head back to our little diagram here, right now we have exactly this communication here, because n8n will just reach the baserow container on port 80 directly over the Docker network. And from our browser, we will go through the host to the exported port 80 on our host to reach the container, and that will be mapped to port 80 inside the container. So now we have a scenario where we can reach the container from our host machine and also from other containers, but the containers can communicate directly now. On macOS or Linux, you can do something similar. So when I just enter my virtual Linux here, There is also a host file that is located under etc and then just hosts. And you can see the file is just very similar. We have an IP address and we have an host name, and that's exactly the same as we did on the Windows hosts file. So you can do pretty much the same on Linux or macOS here. Another way to get the local setup running is just using the host network. Host networking makes the container use the host's network stack directly. We won't need a port mapping because ports are bound directly to the host. So I have stopped my containers here and I will just restart them again. And now I will just remove the port mapping here from my Docker command, and instead of network equals web, I will start this with network equals host. And I do the same for baserow here. So I will remove the port mappings here and I will change the URL to localhost and also change the network to host. And now I start my baserow instance. And now when I head back to my browser and go for my baserow instance once again, and I just call it on localhost, I can reach it easily. And when I head back to n8n and go for my baserow credentials here, I can also set this to localhost and save it and try once again. And you can see I can easily reach my baserow instance from my n8n instance here. And the reason why localhost is working now is localhost is now referring to the same in both cases, because the containers are not running in their own namespace. They are running in the namespace of the host machine. So localhost means the same on the host as in the containers. And that's basically all of it when it comes to solving these networking issues when running containers locally. So we have covered different approaches to letting your containers communicate locally. First of all, we have made the custom Docker network with the host file. And then we have been using host.docker.internal, and we have been using the host network. And we have seen that there are some slight differences when it comes to the different operating systems. So please remember, while host networking seems to be simpler at the first glance, using custom Docker networks gives you more control and security. The host.docker.internal approach is great for quick development setups, and it is especially useful when you need containers to have access from services running on your host machine. The approach where we have created our own Docker network is more similar to how you would use it in a production environment. Because, for example, when you are familiar with Docker Compose, you will usually also create a network, and the containers communicate to each other just by their service names. And that's exactly what we have done here manually. So I hope this video helps you understand Docker networking a little bit better and makes it easier for you to debug communication issues between your containers and or your host machine and the containers. If you found this useful, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.